18 days of relentless combat have left the plains of Kurukshetra completely silent. Millions of soldiers are dead, massive armies have been erased, and a profound power vacuum now hangs over the ash-covered battlefield. There is only one high-value target left alive. The Kuru king Duryodhana has retreated to a desolate lake. Using an ancient mystical technique called Jalastambhana, he has magically frozen the water around his body, submerging himself to hide from the surviving Pandavas. But a king cannot govern from the bottom of a lake. The Pandavas track his position and unleash a barrage of calculated insults, piercing his pride until he finally breaks the frozen surface to face Bhima in a final duel. The fate of an empire, previously fought over by massive legions and cavalry, has now shrunk down to two men fighting with heavy maces in the mud. The muddy shoreline quickly becomes an arena. Both warriors take their stances, gripping weapons forged from solid metal, preparing for close-quarters combat. This diagram shows the strike zone of Gada. An honorable warrior must never swing below the navel. These figures represent the two identically trained warriors. As hours pass, their energy drains at the exact same rate, settling into a mathematical stalemate without any opening. Under the codified laws of honorable combat, this duel has no natural resolution. A definitive victory requires a catalyst from outside the duel to break the gridlock. Watching closely from the sidelines, Krishna realizes the physical fight is stagnant. Relying on brute force alone will only guarantee a permanent draw. Krishna catches Bhima's eye and delivers a single, deliberate gesture. He strikes his own thigh with an open palm. To understand that gesture, we have to look back over a decade, far away from the mud of this battlefield, to the royal gambling hall in Hastinapur. Inside that hall, after deceitfully winning the kingdom, Duryodhana publicly humiliated the Pandavas' wife, Draupadi. As a final explicit insult, he bared his left thigh and mockingly commanded the queen to sit on his lap. Forced to watch his wife endure this degradation, a furious Bhima made a sacred vow. He swore that before he died, he would physically shatter that exact thigh in combat. The signal alters the fight. The tactical struggle for a throne is now the final collection of a debt promised years ago. Back on the lakeshore, the visual registers in Bhima's mind immediately. He sees the slap, and the memory of the gambling hall overrides the rhythm of the duel. He faces a split-second calculation. Upholding the literal rules of martial honor means breaking his sacred vow to his wife. Fulfilling the vow requires him to commit a severe martial sin. Bhima steps into his next swing, but midway through the motion, he violently drops his shoulder. He redirects the heavy metal mace away from Duryodhana's upper torso, driving it forcefully downward into the forbidden zone. The weapon connects directly with Duryodhana's thigh, violently shattering the bone on impact. The strike completely collapses his defense and brings the Kuru king crashing into the mud. Duryodhana's physical collapse is the direct manifestation of the cruelty he inflicted years earlier. His own historical actions finally caught up to him, delivering the definitive blow. The war is effectively won, yet there are no celebrations from the Pandava camp. The battlefield is consumed by a heavy, stunned silence. That silence is broken by Balarama, Krishna's older brother, and the undisputed master of mace combat, who erupts in absolute fury at what he just witnessed. He raises his own weapon and openly accuses Bhima of pure adharma, unrighteousness. Balarama argues that violating a sacred rule of engagement permanently stains the legitimacy of the entire victory. Balarama's anger exposes a deep philosophical tension. The rigid, codified laws of martial combat demand absolute procedural fairness, while retributive justice demands severe punishment. Krishna steps between the two men, answering Balarama's accusation directly. This scale represents the protections of martial law. Krishna argues that those rules exist only for honorable men, and Duryodhana had already forfeited them through a lifetime of systemic cruelty. When historical injustice runs that deep, fighting strictly by the rulebook only serves to protect the abuser. Restoring cosmic balance requires an extraordinary, rule-breaking consequence. True justice rarely leaves the victors with completely clean hands. The Great War is nearly over, but tomorrow brings the final bloody reckoning for those left standing. Follow along to see how the epic concludes.